I've got a question, if you'd hear me out in your defense, you never had a chance, and so tell me straight, I won't go, this is our time now, I'm sure, make no mistake, that we are closer than we're far.
Alrighty, I think everything is set up now. I am done. I'm back. We are streaming again today. Interestingly enough, I didn't realize, but YouTube has sort of kept the same window that we were using yesterday, which I suppose isn't interesting for anyone watching, but kind of interesting for me. Didn't know they did that. Alrighty. There we go. Got my analytics up, got my chat up, ready to go. Right, today I'm doing a little bit of refactoring, bit of cleanup, getting stuff working. What's this? Many people who use... Oh, okay, interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Anyway, so there was a bug that I found last night when I ran this on Android. Interestingly enough, you could open the menu and then go to items, then close the menu, go to items, and it doesn't do it on Windows. It does crash on Android. How you going, Lewis? Good to see you, mate. Alright, let's check this out. Is there a way to force it to use the Android emulator? Let's run the game and see if we can do that. I haven't got my phone plugged in right now, so I'm wondering if it's going to do an emulator. I wonder if I need to set an emulator up. There you go, start the yo-yo runner, so it didn't work. Let's just try setting one up manually. Give that a shot real quick. I believe it's under the SDK. Android Virtual Device Manager, that's AVD, I think that's the one. Yeah, it is. Create. Here we go. RM2K Dev Test Device. Alrighty, device. What are we going to use? Let's test on a... Did I have any... No, they don't have any Samsung devices. Of course they don't. What am I thinking about? Let's just go with the Nexus 6. It's close enough. Running Android 5.1.1. That's all I really need to know about, I think. RAM, that's plenty. Internal storage, that's plenty. I think that's contains invalid characters. Okay, space is not allowed. Get rid of the spaces. Man, you do some cool stuff. You and Heartbeast actually inspired my game, so cheers. Oh, cool, man. You're welcome. Here we go. What's this? CPU. Let's go with a standard ARM CPU. Windows skin, that's fine. I think no skin selected. Okay, so we need to give it a skin. Skin with dynamic hardware controls. That should be fine. Alright. On Windows, emulating RAM greater than 768 meg may fail depending on system load. That's fine, I've got plenty of RAM. There we go. So that should be created now. I think if I boot this, start this up. Launch. Hopefully this works. Holy crap, that is a big window. Can I resize it? I apparently cannot, so Probably wasn't the best idea to make the device like ridiculously big. Let's try and change that down to what's a small device? Let's just go with a what do we got? There we go, 480 by 800. That'll do. I want it running Android 5. Sorry, I'm not familiar with how this stuff works. There we go. Let's try to start that one up. Hopefully that's a little bit better to work with. Launch. There we go. Now it's not bigger than my freaking screen. Now I'm hoping... Ah, perfect. D-pad not enabled in Android virtual device. Hardware keyboard. Use your physical keyboard to provide input. Cool. Should be fine. Now I'm hoping that I can use this device to do some testing on my PC. Doesn't appear to be any way to resize that. Hopefully it boots. This is riveting. Alright. Let's actually get command prompt up as well. So I can go, what do they call it? ADB? ABD? Duh. It's under SDK, isn't it? Android SDK. CD build tools. Can't actually even remember where it is. Where is it? I thought it was under... Ah, it's platform tools, sorry. There we go. Platform tools. Platform tools. There we go. Alright, ADB. I should just add that to my path. Is this thing going to boot, or is it just going to sit here on this? ADB get state, I think it is. Get state. Unknown state. That means it's not picking this up as a virtual device. Yeah, man, this Android stuff in Game Maker is freaking shocking. It's actually really bad, to be honest. And I don't know if it's going to boot or not, because, like, it doesn't appear to be booting, so... That's fine. I can do it on hardware. It's just a bit of a pain, because I got to get my phone out, and... Well, I mean, that's not the pain. The pain is actually, swapping between screen capture and webcam capture, which is a slight pain, but if that's what we have to do, it appears that that's what we have to do. So, I'm just going to plug my phone in. If you give me a second while I do this... There we go. So, as I was saying, the issue being on mobile, it has some interesting behavior in the sense that it just doesn't work. And we need to figure out why that's happening so I can fix it. Here we go. There we go. Put the camera in my in my toilet roll camera holder. Alrighty, let's get our phone going. And we'll run the game on the phone. There we go, let's unlock the phone. Okay. And I think if I click this button here, we should get a webcam. Beautiful. The other thing I'll do is edit this a little bit so it doesn't occupy the whole screen. There we go. Edit scene. Cool. Right, that's compiling now for Android. What I'll also do is I'll put it over here somewhere so you can still see the project, you know. Because why not? There we go. Okay, this should be running now. Right, there it is. New game. Open the menu up, go to inventory, go back, go to inventory, go back, back, and now it works fine. We had an issue yesterday. Ah, there it is. So, intermittent issues. Pain in the butt. What is the problem? It is saying cannot get last selected. Here we get last selected. At object RPGCK game menu draw GUI. So last selected is obviously not being set up correctly. Let's have a look at last selected in Studio and see what we can do about that. Anyway, did you go back? You did that survival game on an island. Any plans for that? Thanks, dude. I do like the phone. It's pretty cool. Any plans for Survival Island? Yeah, finishing it one day, hopefully. But that's not in the near future. Here we go. So we're looking at game menu, I think it was. The draw GUI function in the draw menu text has a call to last selected. This one. Selected index equals last selected. This, I believe, I know why there's a problem here. Because I'm not defining it in the create event. And that is a bad idea. See, it's not defined. So, last selected equals -1. That should do it for us. Hopefully that will solve the issue. The issue being, when you enter and exit the menu, your finger is touching the screen. And so, what's happening there is that it's going into that chunk of code that says if you've got the mouse button selected, then check that the conditions match. And obviously the condition doesn't match because the variable doesn't exist because the create event hasn't made it exist yet. Maxim Blade, hello. How are you doing? All right, let's open the menu. Let's see if we can get it to trigger. Doesn't look like it's going to trigger now. I think we fixed that issue. Cool. It's always good news. There we go. Alright, I think we've solved the issue, intermittent issue with that. That's fantastic news. And yes, the inventory does work. We have a stack of 3 HP potions. Let's travel up here, get a bone. We also have a bone. Get a couple more bones. And let's have a look at that real quick. Inventory. Get out of the way, Twitter. There we go. Inventory. Now the touch isn't working on the inventory yet. Only the buttons. So we need to make the touch work now. Here we go. Maxim Blade! Fine, and you, and Blade's enough. Blade! I'm doing alright, man. It's Saturday night. Figured I'd get online and do some development. Thanks, Lewis. Yes, it runs on multiple platforms, which is always nice. That's the hope, is that it runs on all platforms. Running on PC now. Menu is working. Menu works on PC because we're using keyboard input for this. But yeah, the inventory does stack. 3 HP potions. There we go. So that's working fairly well, or fairly nicely, I should say. A couple of items there. Now the next thing we need to do is define some touch zones. These are going to be for these menu items so that we can do touching. Alright. Where is our UI? No, sorry, it's our in-game menus. Which really should be under UI. Don't know why they're not. I need to optimize this. Maybe I'll do that today. Alrighty. What are we doing? Oh, thank you, Timo. Some dude is like telling me that every single RPG has ever been developed already. He puts like a link in there. Sorry, I was just checking my what do you call it? YouTube channel. I wanted to ask if you need a French or German translator. I could provide both. Thank you, Blade. I don't need one of those at the moment. Sorry. And yes, Unity tutorials. They will eventually continue. I just want to get some of my own projects done first. Here we go. So what are we doing? We're going into the inventory. Let's copy the code from the game menu because we had a really nice... Well, it wasn't really nice, but it was nice enough. So we're going to use this chunk of code. And in our draw event on our inventory... Draw the inventory. Here it is. I know this is not the right place to do this, but it's the only place that makes sense for me right now. So this is drawing the selection, drawing the icon, and then... Did I draw the selection? Oh, that's... Yeah, right. Sorry. That's some horrible code that I wrote yesterday. We will optimize all of this later. This isn't being performed anymore, so we can get rid of all of that. That draws the icon. The Heodin! Hello! How you doing? Welcome to the stream today. Get rid of this white space. And we'll paste that down there like that. Alright, so now we've got the regions for the buttons. Alright, so the region is going to be the same place that it gets drawn to the screen. Sorry, drawn to the screen. The X position of that is going to be... Sorry, that's the item icon. Where am I drawing the selector? There it is. The X position is that. I could actually reuse these somewhere else. The Y position is very similar. There we go. The width is slightly different. Oh, select the width. We've already got that. Nice. So we don't even need that because we've got selector width. Where did I do that from? I did that up there, right? So selector width needs to be button X, and then what am I doing here? I'm saying region X plus width, right? So I don't need to know. I don't even need to know that. I just need to know the selector X and Y for now. So that's going to be fine. That's the X position. Could actually technically just make a variable for that called selector width, which we've already done. Just move those up here. Call this selector X and then selector Y. Here we are. I am working on RPGCK, an engine for building RPG games. Let's paste that in selector X and then selector Y will be the same thing. This function already takes into account the X and Y position for the width and height, so we don't have to worry about that. And now we need to say selector is selected, because this makes it really easy for us to do some calculations here. If the mouse position is greater than selector X and less than selector X plus selector width, then we're going to do the same thing for Y. So we copy that. Right. Plus selector width. And the Y position is greater than selected Y and less than selected Y plus selector height. Then this statement should be true. So let's make an if statement here that says if selector is selected, and device mouse check pressed. Yeah, if device mouse check pressed. Hey RPGCK Dev, when did you start programming? I started programming when I was 10. Device, what was I using in the other one? Sorry, let me check. Let me compare my code just to make sure I'm doing the same thing. Here it is. Device mouse check button 0 left. That's the one. So, if selector is selected and we are pressing the left button, then selected X needs to be inv X and inv Y. Selected X equals inv X and selected Y equals inv Y. And I'm going to put this at the top because that's the first thing we want to happen is check for selection. I wish I'd done it at that age, yeah. Alrighty. Right, that should, in theory, work for us now. I think. I did, and I'm still shit. Blade, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking? Because I was still shit until I was about 20. Alright. So now you can see I'm using my mouse to make selections. Oops. There we go. Make selections on the inventory with the mouse. Obviously there's a bug there when you hit the thing, but let's see if that works with your 18. Yeah, man, you still got a couple of years to go. Once you get a full-time job programming, that's when things started to become a little more promising as far as my actual ability went. Alright, so that's that done. Now we need to do the selection selector. How did I do that in the menu? Ah, that's where the selected index and last selected came into play. Which means we need to add last selected to the inventory as well. Alright, so we've got selected X, selected Y. Let's add last selected and last selected Y. So last selected X, last selected Y, and we'll just make those different so that it doesn't trigger at the start. Congratulations, dude. Alright, let's give this a shot. So at the end of our... Did I do that? I'm trying to remember how I did it in this menu just to make sure I get things right. Alright. Draw the inventory. Here we go. So this code here at the end of everything needs to say, at the end of everything, store the current selection in last selection. So we say last selected X equals selected X. I'm just saying for Y. There we go. Same for Y, and then in here we can say, let's have a look how we did it in here again. If it is selected, this can be optimized into one as well, one function. I'll do that in a tick. Alright, so let's take this and put this in here. If that is the case, then make the selection. Okay. This one will be called select the selection. Edmund Wong, hello. Alright, and the other one was if device mouse check button pressed. Oops. Okay, good job, Game Maker. The scroller doesn't work. 0 MB left. So if it was pressed, and then I'll do another if statement just for readability here. Then if last selected X is the same as selected X, and same for Y. So if we've clicked again on the same one, then we want to perform event user 0, which is my callback for like, hey, I've selected something. So hopefully this should work. Let's give that a shot. Okay, there's no errors, so let's try and... Oh crap, I need to put the debug system back on, don't I? In that case, initialization debug visible. There we go. And the other thing I want to do is disable one of these scripts, which was the inventory register item, I think it was. Add item? No, sorry, it was items. System register item. Has too many debug messages. Fills up the screen with crap. There we go. Yeah. Let's give this a shot, see if now we get some debug messages on the screen. Perfect, we do. Let's pick up some stuff on the floor, and we'll open our inventory, and now we should be able to select them. That's fine. And if we click on it, we can make a selection. Now there is a bug happening here, which is very interesting, the way that that's working. Raging Rhino. I am just working, man. Just doing the old work. Selected Y equals selected Y. Let me just do it how I did it here, because this was the one that worked. I know that's slack, but screw it. Screw it! This is what worked. So what did I do? I said if it was selected... that's right. So I did that. Outside of this. There we go. Pull the whole lot back. There we go. Push that all forward by 1. Then I did this one second. That must be the key. Oops. There we go. Tab those back in so that they look nice. Right. So, how does this work? If it's selected, oh, actually, you know what? Let's do that in line. And selector is selected. There we go. Then we set our selected X and Y. And then in this case, if the button was pressed and button selected, so we set the same thing. If that was pressed and it was selected, and selector is selected, then if our last selected is the same as our currently selected and our last selected Y is the same as our selected Y, then fire the event to deal with the item being selected. Wow, that's a lot of freaking selections. Alright, if I click on one, nothing happens. If I click again, we use the item. So I can make, that's cool, that works now. Let's pick up a bunch of items. Alright, let's pick this one up as well. Here we go. Now, if I go into my inventory, I should be able to make movement across these, which is working fine. If I click on one of them that's not currently selected, it switches to the item, but it doesn't actually use it. And then if I tap it again, it will say selected item for use. So you actually have to click twice. The reason why you have to click twice is because for mobile users, they would be tapping on the screen and there's going to be a different sort of event. So let's give this a test on mobile, and hopefully that's going to work for us. Otherwise, rage quit and go watch Netflix. I don't know. So jelly of your programming. Thank you, dude. Alright. Close the current running game. Pull the webcam up. There we go. Alrighty. Let's give this a tick to compile. Okay, game's running on phone. Let me get the, come on, camera, focus. Damn, camera. Okay, so now I should be able to touch the screen. There we go. It's very awkward to use this and touch the screen at the same time. There we go. So I can make my selection, which is inventory. And now I can select items in the inventory. So let's try and pick some items up now. And hopefully this will do everything we wanted it to do. There we go. Now we can select our items. Perfect. Oh, my hand's in the way, sorry. Let me get my hand out of the way. That might be better. So you can see when I select the item, it actually says what item is selected. We have 6 small HP potions and 1 large HP potion, which I don't think is correct, actually. Oh, no, it is correct, yeah. Hey, how you doing, Icy Dead Zone? Let's pick those up. There we go. Now go into my items. Now you can see I've got 7 potions, 6 small HP potions, and then a whole bunch of different bones that I've... Oh, sorry. Sorry, I banged the camera then. And so these ones here have different identifiers, so we know that they're different items. Now, if I double tap, it should say selected for use. Select, tap again, uses the item. Cool. So you can respond to the event however you want to respond to it. That is awesome. That works quite well. I'm pretty happy with that. Why don't you make the buttons semi-transparent so you can see what's beneath them? They are semi-transparent, there's just nothing underneath them right now. But if I, say for instance, slide over, then you'll see... Actually, you can't really see that. You can't see that on here. Good FPS on this phone. That's because I suppose this phone has 8 cores. It's like a octa-core beast phone, essentially. Alright, so that's working. Let's jump back into code and establish what's happening next. I'm just gonna have some water real quick. Alright, sorry about that. I was just getting some water. Okay, so that is this inventory done. Now let's confirm that this is all still working on HTML5, because after all, that is the most temperamental platform to work with. But hopefully one can always hope that it still works in a browser. Let me get my browser looking right. Come on, browser. One more pixel. There we go. Oh, damn it. Damn browsers. Okay, well, that'll do. New game. Alright, let's hope for the best. Open up the menu. Items. Oh, it still works. Still works. Now let's actually try and pick some stuff up. Oh, it still works. And I can select them in HTML. Perfect. The engine. It works. Pick up these bones. Here we go. Open the menu. Can we use a bone? It works. My god. I never doubted it for a second. Alright, cool. So that's working fine. Menu still working. Text menu is still working fine. That's always good news. What about this one? This one's still working fine as well. Well, I'm happy about that. Why is my debug text like half semi-transparent? How did I end up doing that? That was the switches object. No, it wasn't actually. That was the debug object rendering the switches area. How did I get those to appear? Draw text, draw text. Very strange that the debug logs draw in full alpha. Am I specifying their alpha? I am, but it's set to image alpha, so that should be fine. But the switches are using draw text, and they are following the alpha, and the alpha is set as... It's not being set. I don't understand how that's doing that. You should make it that you can only select the inventory slots that are not empty. That is a fantastic idea. I will do that right now. Inventory. Here we go. So, inventory item, that's the one. An inventory item is greater than 0. I think that was the command for that. Where was I doing that stuff? Item icon. That was only for the icon, the name. I don't think I was actually even using that in this file, am I? Oh no, I am. Of course I am. Of course I am. How do you close this now that I've opened it? There we go. Right, so where's my selector? There it is. If it's selected, and inventory item is undefined. There's a function for that. Is undefined inventory item. There we go. And it is not undefined. Perfect. Right, let's give that a shot. How long has this stream been going for? It's been going for 35 minutes. Oh, sorry, that's for the mouse controls only, isn't it? But it still works. Interestingly, even though there's nothing there. Alright, so it's obviously... Oh, sorry, it's not undefined. It's greater than 0. Greater than 0. There we go. I know that's weird. Thanks, Blade! Thank you for joining! Right, cool. Now I can't select them, but if I get an item in here, get a couple of items, they should be selectable. There we go. So now you can only select the ones that have stuff there. I suppose, at the same time, we should also be saying... Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that, and I'll tell you why. I'm going down a rabbit hole of adding extra functionality that we don't need for version 1. Because I know that'll come back to bite me later in the butt. It'll be like, hey, you need to add all these extra cases of code to deal with that. Set drawing font. Draw set alpha 0.2. That's so weird that that doesn't work. Image alpha. Is there a different alpha? I don't even actually know what the alpha is for that. I should still be using the image alpha though. Let me check the documentation. Draw set alpha. Draw set alpha. What does it overwrite though? Alpha. Yeah, okay, Game Maker. Give me some actual... some useful data. Nope, doesn't give me alpha. Image alpha. Excuse me. No, it doesn't. See, because I'm manually specifying the alpha here, it doesn't take into account the draw set alpha which I supplied at the start, which was 0.2. I'm watching and playing War Thunder at the same time. That's cool, man. And then at the end we set draw set alpha back to 1. But anything that sets the alpha specifically doesn't take into account what we've set with draw set alpha. As always, Game Maker has some sort of strange issue with stuff. And now it doesn't want to show me even my draw get alpha. Ah! Thank you. I will use that. Image... Actually, I won't do that. Actually, I will do that. Yeah, let's do it like that. That's easy. We'll just say image alpha. Alpha equals draw. Get alpha. There we go. This is why I like programming when I'm streaming. You guys always have some sort of, you know, useful information that can be helpful. When you're programming by yourself and everything, it's fine, but you come up against an issue like that, you just be like, screw it, I'll leave it forever. Then it never gets taken care of. But at least when you're on stream, you know, everyone can give you a hand. Now I'm getting a strange issue here where this isn't exactly working. Why are we not getting switches? Help from the fan community is the best, always. Now that should be setting a switch. It's just not even rendering it. Let's put some breakpoints on here and see what's going on. Is it even making it into this? Should be. The other thing to check is show switches turned on. Show switches is turned on, so we should be seeing the switches. Dank Memes! How you doing, man? Simple League. See, it's not even entering that chunk of code. Otherwise, oh sorry, I'm not even in debug mode. Because I'm an idiot. No worries, Icy Dead Zone. Thanks for joining us today. Imagine what it's like working with a team. I assume everyone helps out like that. Yes, they do. Are you entering the indie game making contests by Game Dev Fort? I have never heard of Game Dev Fort in my life, and I'm probably not entering their contest. Just because I usually don't do game... What do you call them? Game jams? Just because I can't be bothered. I'm lazy, I suppose. And yeah, that's pretty much the only reason why I don't do them. I multiplied by 14. I'm using the I variable up here. I wonder if this is having some sort of scope issue. We should be seeing those switches on the side of the screen, but we're not. What is I multiplied by 14? Well, what is I? I is 0. 0 multiplied by 14 is 0. Display get width. What is that? Let's breakpoint that. Actually, let's add a... Is there an evaluator or something? How do you get a new window up in this thing? Split on the left, and then I want this to be a... Is there something to do an evaluation in real time? Call stack. That's nice. I didn't actually want that. I just wanted to have a look. Oh, cool. Oh, wow. Can get the surface up and everything. The different texture pages. Oh, that's really nice. I haven't used half of this debugging stuff in here. Rendering stats. Oh, man. I love the new debugger. It's great. Anyway, so what I was trying to do... Instance... That's just the instances. Local, no. Source, no, I've already got one of them. Output, that's just the console output. So let's just go with watches. I'll just throw a watch on here. Display, get width. What is the value? 1920. That is not correct. That's why it's not working, because I need to be using the GUI. The GUI get width. The creators of RPG Maker are hosting it or whatever. I see. I came here from your tweet. Why didn't you make the game in Game Maker 8? Because I want it to run on all different platforms, and Game Maker 8 only runs on Windows, and Studio is infinitely better. Bannable! Hello! You didn't miss a blue screen today. Thankfully you're good, man. You didn't miss the blue screen. Let's get rid of this Android virtual device. Alright, so the problem with that was that I'm using the incorrect functions. I should be using display get GUI height. It works on a phone because GUI height and width on a phone are the entire screen, but on a PC, it's not going to cut it. Banana ball. The memories. Damn, you look good. Thanks, Dragon Minor Tunes. People say that to me all day. No, I'm just kidding. They don't. Alright, anyway. Right now, you see at the top right, we have our, what are they called? Switches. So you can see when I open up a message, it says RPGCK internal dialogue is on. When the dialogue system goes away, that changes to off. We can't see that because it's not rendering close enough in the screen. I really should just keep a... Oh man, I get way too hardcore with this sort of shit. Never mind, I won't do it. Calculate what the widthiest width is going to be. There we go. So now you see the RPGCK internal menu is on. If I close it, it's off. If I open up the menu, internal menu is on. If I close it, it's off. If I speak with the dialogue, you see the dialogue switch is turned on. And then if I close out of the dialogue, it would say off. And that should work fine. Fine across platform. Should work on everything. I have no idea where to start with the GML. Yeah, dude, Game Maker Studio is free. You just download it now. Alright, save this. I hope you guys don't mind, but I am out of water. Out of water. Well, basically out of water, so I'm going to go get some more. I will be back in 30 to 45 seconds. Alrighty. I think it's still running the advert, actually. I don't know how to check. Okay. I was actually back before the ad finished, but I'm not familiar with this system. I didn't know it was still playing. So people who watch the actual video, like the mirror, they're gonna be watching it. They're gonna be like, "What the hell is he talking about? He just disappeared. Now he's back." Oh well. Anyway, I'm back. Got my water. Got to stay hydrated. Got to stay hydrated. Got water. There we go. Dragon Miner, you can't post that into into here. You can't post that into the YouTube chat, bro. You get me in trouble. Jeez Louise. Alright, let's carry on with development. Alrighty, my god, dude. Like linking to torrents and shit. Alright. Anyway, alright, what are we doing? Let me just confirm. Oh, actually, yeah, let's check that this all works in HTML5. Jeez Louise, I can't believe you guys. There we go. Alright, so browser. Yes, that works in the browser. Menu's working, inventory's working. One thing I notice when I'm doing this in the browser is that these sort of like Windows selector things, they don't render correctly. Specifically this one. I'm wondering if I need to do some sort of clamping on the UI stuff. Let's take a look at the scripts. Selection draw. At the moment, I'm just using these. This is a freaking horrible function. I need to fix this up. But that's something we got to do. I wonder if they need to be like rounded. They might be coming in as like, because they are percentages. Yes, they are percentages. That's the problem. They need to be rounded. Alright, let's, actually, I'll tell you what, easier than all of this. Let's just do a find and replace. We'll find argument 0, replace it with round, and just replace all. Bam! Except for that one, we don't want to round it. Argument 0, there we go. Now we'll do the same thing with argument 1. There we go. Replace all. And we'll do the same thing with argument 2. And we'll do the same thing there. Argument 2, replace all. This is the most inefficient way of doing this ever. It is, isn't it? I'm just being stupid. What am I doing? Undo all of that. You're an idiot sometimes, Ryan. You are. Sometimes I'm surprised that even I managed to get a job. Argument 0 equals round. Argument Argument 0. There we go. That's going to be infinitely more savings on performance there. Argument 1. I don't know if I can set them in here, but I hope I can. 2 and 3. 0, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now let's confirm if that's sorted out our issue with the rendering in HTML5. I think that new YouTube streaming service for gaming will be much better than Twitch, thinking that Google has way better servers than, wait for it, Amazon. Failfish. Yeah, dude, I hardly have any delay on here at the moment. I see your messages coming through instantly. The only delay is because I'm not reading as fast as you would like me to be reading, if that makes sense. This looks to have sorted out the issue straight away. So now we're not getting those funky looking edges. They're all selected properly. What was I going to say? Yes, YouTube actually has already updated their live streaming for partners. I have a feeling that this is what it's going to look like for... Actually, let me just confirm that my streaming key is not being displayed. Cool, it's not. Yeah, so this is the new layout for streaming. It's pretty nifty. I assume they will make it nicer for the gaming one, but it's pretty nifty so far. My messages keep not sending. The nerf. You're not a copycat if you're learning how to do something and then making it yourself. If you're just copy-pasting the code, like, you know, letter for letter, then that's copying. Don't do that. But learn what I'm doing and then you go and do it yourself. That's, you know, that's the idea of the tutorial thing. Alright, so that's confirmed working now on HTML5. Let's also get the UI system working as well. Where's the update function? Actually, that's not in here, is it? That's under... Well, create is technically doing this. I think update deals with X. Yeah, so these need to be rounded. That's fine. Apply window properties. This might mean that some windows will be 1 or 2 pixels off instead of being pixel perfect, which I don't like. But there's no room for percentages in dealing with resolution. So if your resolution is like 1921, get a new monitor. Lewis, I do. Any of you guys on Windows 10 yet? I found a copy and installed it. Why does this have 3 dislikes? Because yesterday people were disliking, and for some reason it carries through. They would be my 3 haters. But if you guys don't mind, while you're here, it would be awesome if you did leave a like. That really helps. It reminds me of a video someone showed me, but yeah. If you do get the chance, leave a like. That'd be awesome. Alright, so now the Windows system appears to be working. Here we go. Oh, except for the fact that mouse input never worked on HTML5, that's right. What games? A couple of my own crappy ones, mostly stuff that I did for other people. What's going on here? No, don't run in debug. Run like this. Here we go. Alright, so, new game. Open the menus up. Everything is looking snappy right now. Snappy. There's no issues with the corners. That, to me, looks like a success. So that's that part of it. Now, there's another section of this that I think would need rounding. Is this your first stream? No. It's not my first stream. Yes, I'm jumping on Windows 10 the day it comes out. I like the idea of Windows 10. Alright, so that's fine. The Windows system is now nice and clean. Let's check out the horrible, horrible thing here. What am I doing with this? X. Okay, cool. So X and width are already rounded, so that shouldn't have any issues. Let's confirm that by making the screen a really strange resolution. Where is my initialization screen? Here it is. So I'm going to make the game right now 1281 by 726 instead of 1280 by 720. This should technically mean that it can't divide the screen equally in the horizontal axis, and we're going to get some issues with that. And we're getting issues with that as expected. I would have thought rounding would have solved that. Interestingly enough, it didn't solve it for the selector. That's very interesting. Edmund's like, where was I? And then Vanable's like, not on Twitch. Alright. So there's obviously an issue with this. However, this one looks okay. The selector looks fine now. Oh no, there's issues here. I suppose there's not really any way around this, to be honest. If you're trying to divide the screen up by a strange number, you're going to get a weird offsetting no matter what I do.
Man, you gotta have that time where you just like disconnect.
Let me check it out on just standard 1280 by 720.
The race, like, and it's a race.
Make sure that it looks normal.
But you have to step away from it.
Here we go. This should be 1280 by 720. Alright, so at least in standard resolutions it looks fine. All the menu items look fine. Text is crisp. The Nerf Gamer. She's smart as a Cypress. New motivated program. Seems fun. Oh, cool, man. Stick with it then. Jason Grace. Of course I know who Sean Spalding is. If I didn't, there would be something wrong with me. Alright. Now let's also confirm this works in 1920 by 1080. There we go. I know it does, but I just want to make sure. Because most decent phones are, you know, 1920 by 1080. Here we go. So this is it running on a browser in 1920 by 1080. And it's working absolutely fine. At 60 frames per second. Looking perfect. And we've got our items in our inventory. Touch is obviously not working because it's not going to work in browser, and it will be disabled on PC anyway. Your three haters are Hibiku, Charmander, and Molly loves you. Oh man. Alright, that's all good now. Let's drop it back to Windows, go back to my standard 640 by, what is it, 360? I think that's what it is. Now, the only other thing I haven't tested is what happens if you run it at 60 frames per second. It'll probably run, everything will probably run faster because I'm not using Delta time, which I really should be using. Oh no, it seems to run fine. Oh no, of course I am using Delta time. What an idiot. Thank you, Raging Rhino. It should adapt technically to any resolution. Shouldn't really matter what resolution you run it at, it should just work. That's the idea. I don't like how these freaking menus are working. It's got some issues with these, with the side of this. I thought rounding it might have sorted the issue out on PC. At least. Let me take a look at this window. Sorry, the selector. Because the selector is the easiest one to deal with right now because it's right here. X and Y are rounded. It's a problem with the division because it's all based on percentages. And the width is a percentage, and that's not gonna, it's always gonna break. The only thing I can think of is maybe floor would do the trick, but I doubt it. I'm just taking a stab in the dark. Raging Rhino, can I download it? The items in the inventory are kind of small on big resolutions. Yes, that is correct. I know that's going to be an issue somehow, but I don't exactly know what I can do about it just yet. I think flooring it actually seems to have solved the problem. So, oh no, it didn't. Why did it not work for vertical, but it did work? It worked for horizontal. Is there something different about the way vertical works? The corners are working fine. Maybe it's just me being stupid. I'm sure it probably has an issue. Some resolution. Oh, there we go. I found it. It has an issue at... Alright, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem moving forward, I think. You can resize the X scale and Y scale according to the resolution of the window. I know, yeah. I'm not doing aspect ratio scaling, though. I'm doing this percentage-based scaling. Because it works... scaling with percentages is infinitely easier. And not only that, but it works with... like, if you take a look at this window system... where are we at? Inventory, right? So if you take a look at the way the window system works... it lets you basically use things like anchors. So when you create a window, you say, I want this window to appear at 50% of the screen. Actually, I'll show you the main menu for the game. This will give you a better example of how it works. So what I do is I say the main window for the menu is going to appear at 50% of the screen, 50% of the Y, sorry, 50% X, 50% Y, 65, and the width is going to be 65% of the screen, and the height is going to be 90% of the screen. And that is anchored center and center. So what we end up having is 5% margins on the top and bottom, essentially, because it's anchored center. So if I run the game, and I open the menu up, you'll see that we've got 5% on the top and 5% on the bottom, as well as whatever the difference is on the sides here. 45%, 45? 35. 35% divided by 2 on the sides here. Which is quite nice. And the anchors give you the ability to do stuff like this. So say, for instance, my title screen controller, I can actually do something like this. So that's at the moment 50% of the X and sorry, 70% of the Y. But let's say I wanted it to be at the top left corner of the window. I could say put it at 10% X, 10% Y. Now if I run the game, you'll see what happens. The center of the window will be at 10%, 10%, which is wrong. So the center of the window is right there. But using anchors, we could actually say pin that with the left and the left, right? For the X anchor and the Y anchor, which is going to give us some really cool ability to put the window anywhere on the screen that we want it to be and have it scale out when the window changes size. So on mobiles, you know, it's always going to be in the top left of the screen. It's a much simpler way of dealing with all sorts of different resolutions, I personally think. I'm just reverting it back. Ah, the Hedon for the inventory items you can upscale, right? Yes, that's actually not a bad idea. I think it'll be problematic in the sense of, since they're pixel art, they might get a little bit iffy looking, but I'll give it a shot. Let's take a look at our inventory. Draw GUI, here it is. So let's just say, where are we drawing the item? Here it is. So it draws itself central. Draw sprite X, which gives us access to X, Y, X scale. We're just going to say X scale, or item X scale, item Y scale, item Y scale, rotation 0, C white alpha 1. Did you use the assets from RPG Maker? No. Or somewhat, I'm using similar assets to RPG Maker. The idea being that it's going to be compatible with all, hopefully in the end, most or all RPG Maker assets. You just load them in and they work. It works with RPG Maker character sets and window skins at the moment. So image X scale, what do? We go display, get GUI width, assuming the game's running landscape, which it should always be, divided by height, multiplied by scale factor. I think that'll be the way to do this. Multiplied by, let's just say 10 for now. Multiplied by 10. Let's just have a look how this works. I don't know if that is the right way of doing this, but let's take a look. Yep, obviously not the right way of doing it. Let's try that with just 1 for now. What would happen if you spammed the chat? A moderator would have to destroy your messages and then slap you. But I don't know if they'd be able to slap you, so they might just remove the messages. That looks better. Alright, let's pick up these items. Looks much better. They're actually taken into account. Now what happens if it goes like that? Ah, it works for somewhat. It means that there's a limited resolution here, but to some degree that's working better, I think. It's much better. Then we can pick up a bunch of potions. With the potions, you should be able to still interact with them. Alright. Are there mods on YouTube? Yes, there are. There are moderators on YouTube now. Not free. Someone's asking me on Twitter, do you have any FAQ about your RPGCK engine? Would be awesome. I don't currently have any public information available aside from what we're doing in the streams. I need to get a wiki up and going for this sort of stuff. Alrighty. Okay, that's working fine. The stream has literally been me just talking and doing other stuff. Fear the mods, man. You gotta be careful. You gotta be really careful what the mods will do. Alright. Now, there was something that I wanted to clean up before. Jason will be quiet for the next 5 minutes. Did you make an RTS before? Yes, I have. It's always fun making small RTSs. Alright, I think I'm done working on this engine for tonight. Let's make a small RTS for fun. Why not? Like, most random thing ever. Slash Game Maker. What did I call this folder? I called it Game Maker Projects, didn't I? I think I did. Game Maker Projects. My mods don't accept bribes. Oh man. Alright, test RTS. There we go. No, I'm not leaving. Making a small RTS. Yeah, RTSs would be really hard to make. Make a multiplayer space shooter. Oh god. Sprite. Let's just call this tank or something like that. I'm just gonna do a quick little test and see if I can get it working. Let's do a test. Someone time me. How fast can I make a small RTS? Okay. Here we go. This is gonna be my tank. Gonna give him a little like gun thing, like that, and just, like some wheels or some tracks or something like this. There we go. That'll do. That is freaking shit. Let's do that again. This is the crappiest looking tank in the world, but that'll do for now. There's my tank. Center it. And then you're making an RTS. Yep. Jason, those dazzling graphics. Are you dazzled by my graphics? Alright, he started the timer. It's going to be a real... We're not going to do a full strategy game. We're just doing, like, getting selected units and then move them around with a mouse, okay? Test level. Here we go. 60 frames per second. Bam. Create an object. Object tank. Give it the right sprite. Bam. Throw down some tanks in the level. Object tank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tanks on the level. Then all we need is we need some code in there. Create an event. Target X equals X. Target Y equals Y. There we go. Step event. Add a step event. Bam. If target X not equals X. Actually, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll say target distance equals point distance X, Y, target X, target Y. Bam. Do the same thing for point. What the hell did I just do? There we go. Control C, Control V. It's going to be target distance, target direction. Let's change that to point direction. There we go. If target distance is greater than, let's just say 30, then we need to move in the direction of target distance. So mx equals length. Dir x. We're going to move 1 pixel in target dir. Target dir's direction. Do that same thing for y. There we go. X plus equals mx. Y plus equals my. There we go. Now we need a thing that says selected equals 0. Oh, sorry, false. And we need a controller object. Just call this object game controller. There we go. Let's throw down one of those in the level. This is like speed run building a basic RTS, essentially. Say when you're done, because I don't know what you're doing. Okay. Alright, let's just make sure this runs without crashing. You son of a human. Alright, we got tanks on the screen. That's fine. Okay, now let's make the controller select tanks. So we need a mouse global left pressed. I'm going to say left down equal. Actually, no, we'll say start X equals mouse. Mouse start X equals mouse X. Do the same thing for Y. There we go. Mouse start X equals mouse Y. Is selecting equals true. And that means that we need to put all of these into the create event. False. Mouse X, I'll just say 0 for now, 0 for that. We also need a mouse. We don't need a mouse end X, that's fine. Step event. If is selecting, then when you say mouse end X equals a mouse X, I actually wouldn't really need to do that, but what the hell, we did it anyway. Mouse Y, there we go. Now we need to say if is selecting mouse end X. That's we've got that now. Now let's have a draw event. Draw rectangle from mouse start X to mouse start underscore Y to mouse end X to mouse and Y. Outline's true. There we go. If is selecting, in that case, we want to draw that. There we go. That's going to do the selector. So let's see if we've got a selector working. Bang, we have a selector. Alright, now we need a global left released event to say is selecting equals false when we release the mouse button. And then we also want to say with object tank. With object tank, we want to say selected equals false unless we are within those dimensions. So we can say if my x is greater than other dot mouse start x and x is less than other dot mouse end x. So if the x position matches and y is greater than other dot mouse start y and y is less than other dot mouse end y. If that is the case, then selected equals true. Here we go. And then in our draw event for the tank, where's our draw? We're going to say draw self. And then also if selected, then we want to draw circle at x, y, radius of 32, outline 1. That'll do for now. Actually, let's make it colored. Draw circle x. Is there an x function? Circle color, there we go. So color 1 is going to be sea green. Sea green for color 2, and outline is true. There we go. So now we should be able to select the tanks, or not. Oh, there we go. That's good enough for now. Yep, that'll do. You can select some tanks, select all tanks. There we go. Basic tank. I'm using Game Maker Studio Master Collection, which I bought long before they changed the price to $700, because there's no way I'd pay that for this, because it's buggy as fuck. Pardon the French. So, if a tank is selected, and then all we need to say with mouse, global mouse, right button released, we can say with object tank, if selected, target x equals mouse x, target y equals mouse y. There we go. Here we go. Oh, look at that! I can select and move the tanks around now. How cool is that? They're all gonna get all collidey with each other, but it's good enough. I don't want them to stand on the same position though, so let's how can we sort that out? Well, actually, there's a real cheap way of doing this. You just turn physics on, and then turn physics in the room on, and then just this is really cheating. I know. I'm sorry. And then in their step event, just increase this distance by like 50. Oh, hang on. Now they're not going to move because I'm using physics. PHY position. There we go. I'm calling it. I'm calling it done. There we go. I'm calling it done. That's basic enough. Gets us there. Hang on a minute. They're not colliding with each other. That's because they need a collision event with themselves. Collide with self. There we go. That's such a cop-out. Oh, man. I know. Let's make these tanks. There you go. Look. They're, it looks intelligent enough. Can control a group of tanks. I actually have made a decent RTS before. Let me find the video for you. It's good enough, I suppose. RM2K Dev. What was it called? War on Maggie is what I called it. Developer log V1. Here you go. This was the video. War on Maggie. Better than Fish AI. If you guys, I'll show you guys a project as well, because I have done Fish AI before. Members, where is it? Here we go. Oh, wrong URL there. Here you go. This was more War on Maggie, by the way, guys. It was a basic thing that I did. And here was the Fish AI, in case you're curious. I did that in JavaScript though, so yeah, that's quite cool. The War on Maggie thing was actually multiplayer, so you could move these guys around. You could zoom in on the map and all sorts of cool stuff. There you go, the fishies running around. A little bit of that was my first attempt at doing a flocking algorithm. So you can see some of the fish will stay in a group together and other ones won't. They are somewhat flocking. Flocking crazy. There we go. So now they're starting to flock together, you see them. They swim in groups, which is quite cool. Anyway, I'm pretty much done streaming for tonight, guys, so I hope you've enjoyed today's stream. We got a little bit of work done on the engine, which I'm happy with. Happy we got anything at all done, which is always good. Fish cam or riot. Alright, hang on, I'll give you fish cam. Here you go. Webcam. There you go. Fish cam. This is what I see. This is a Inception. Now, if I bring OBS onto the screen as well, that's just going to make everything really trippy. There you go. I'll freak everyone out. Don't look if you get epilepsy, because it's going to give you, like... Anyway, sorry. I'll stop that now. Oh my god, this is going to make for a really bad thing. Can you play on Twitch next time? No. Not doing it on Twitch. Thank you, James. My eyes. There you go. Oh, you know what? There's one thing we didn't do with the tanks. They don't face the direction that they're moving. Jeez Louise. How stupid am I? PHY rotation. What is it? PHY angle? Rotation? No, it's rotation. Target. Duh, it's negative because it's the other way around. There you go. That should sort that problem out. Now they should face their direction. They're moving. There you go. Tanks now face the direction that they're moving. There you go. Basics of a tank game right there. RTS tanks. Do you have any tips on making your first game? Make it simple so that you can finish it in at least... Thanks, Lewis. I'm done now. Make it simple. Do Tetris. Do Pong. Something like that. And actually finish it. Because if you don't learn to finish projects, then you'll end up like me. Are you done? I'll tell you the time you did it. I'm done, man. I'm done. I'm happy with that. I'm considering that the basics of an RTS. Do you have any tips on a face reveal? If so, can you show me some tips on the stream? Nope. Got nothing for you, mate. Can you make a tutorial on how to make a multiplayer game? I've done it. I've already made tutorials on that. It's like, seriously, it's called Let's Build an MMORPG. It's this whole series on actually building an MMORPG inside of GameMaker. This is Adception. I'm displaying an ad in my stream. There you go. I'll give you a demo of how it works. Hang on. Here you go. We got the two clients up on the screen here. And as you see, one walks around, the other one moves around with it. Yeah, I've got a whole series on making MMO. Can you make a tut on face revealing? Oh my god. Other than this engine, what other game projects have you got? Man, I've got plenty of game projects on at the moment. Way too many. What about co-op? Co-op is the same thing. It's just different MMO logic for co-op play. But basically, that was my MMORPG tutorial, and it's essentially what you need. There's plenty of parts. It's extremely complicated though, so don't do it if you're not comfortable with, like, insanely complicated programming. Anyway guys, thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed today's stream. I'll probably be back tomorrow sometime throughout the day, given it's Sunday and I don't have any plans. Have I made a first-person shooter? Yes, I have. This is going to become, let's look at RM2K Dev's old videos. Zombie Cubes. Here is the game that I made ages ago. Do you wear glasses? I don't wear glasses, but I do have glasses that I do wear when I want increased resolution on life. Here we go. This was an FPS I made ages ago in Unity. Called Zombie Cubes. It was actually a third-person shooter that you can, like, go first-person in. Like, there's a first-person mode. You right-click to, like, zoom down on your character. And the other one I did in Unity was... what was it called? RPG... Unity? I think that's my Unity tutorial is going to come up now, isn't it? It is. RPG game. What did I call it? Let me try and find it on my channel. Give me a sec. I don't want to show you the back end of my YouTube because it's private. Increased resolution in life, yeah. My typical resolution's about 720p, but when I'm looking for something a little more, you know, high def, I get the glasses out. What did I call it? It was like one of the first videos I ever uploaded onto YouTube. Ever. Let me find it, and then I'll show it to you. It was actually pretty cool. It was a little RPG made in Unity that it had 2D sprites in a 3D world, and it used billboarding for everything. Let me find it. Here it is. RPG game demo. Found it. It only had 3,000 views. Like, my old videos don't get any love. RM2K Dev, why you have ad block? Because I don't like not supporting people who I'm watching. If I'm going to watch someone's videos and they have ads on it, it means they need the money, so I support them with that. There you go. So this was a little RPG I made in Unity ages ago. Increased resolution in life, yeah. On Let's Play old videos, yeah, basically. But essentially, this was my little RPG that I did in Unity. I was going for the whole, like, Ragnarok Online thing. 3D game with 2D characters. Yeah, old videos have face reveals. So do some new videos. Thanks, dude. I never ended up finishing it, but the idea was solid. Essentially, I wanted to build Fantasy Life, but then Fantasy Life came out. Well, this is years before Fantasy Life ever came around. This was 2012. There you go. Anyway, what programming languages do you know? C, C++, Visual Basic, C#, JavaScript, GML, trying to think, PHP, what else do I know? I mean, SQL, but that's not really a programming language, but sort of, somewhat. What else? I can't think. Plenty more. A little bit of Lua. I know some Lua. I can't even remember what I used Lua for last time. I was using the Love engine or whatever it was called. I think it was called Love. and for whatever reason, I'm not getting any messages come through on chat. That's really strange. Chat just broke for me. Oh no, there it is. Oh, I don't know Python, but that's just because Python sucks. I know a little bit of Ruby. Just I don't know much. I wouldn't say I'm an expert at Ruby or like I know Ruby. Good enough at Ruby, if that makes sense. Oh, Swift, obviously, I know Swift. Thank you, Dank Memes, for choosing the like sexiest photo ever. You had to pick a spot where it was, you know, perfect. You know, mouth open and everything. Thanks, man. I love Python. Yeah, no, I don't do Python. What was I gonna do? I had something to do. I can't remember what it was. I'm looking at your. Looks like something that could have been on the SNES. Magnificent banana. Oh man, even your avatar. That's awesome. Oh my god. A banana who is magnificent, man. I like your profile. That's cool. Anyway, yeah. So that's pretty much anyone watching this on YouTube later is gonna be like, what the hell is going on? For anyone watching this on YouTube, the stream ended like 10-15 minutes ago. This is just called Talk with Ryan for time, I suppose. Anyway, I'm going. I want to go watch. I'm gonna go watch an episode of Orange is the New Black. Best programming language is blue screen. Oh, programming languages. That's right. What was the other one? God, I forget the name of it now. Brainfuck. That was a wicked programming language. It's really fun to learn that as well. And I'm not trying to say bad words here, but it's actually, that's what it's called. Here we go. It's called Brainfuck. It's a legitimate programming language created in 1993. And this is how programs in Brainfuck work. Oh man, always good to learn how to do something like that. I actually wrote a compiler for this that compiled Brainfuck into assembly ages ago. And there's another one, not Erlang. What's the name of it? It's been ages since I used it anyway. That's what you can obviously see now why it's called Brainfuck, right? It's a great programming language designed literally to do nothing. That's the best thing I've ever heard of. You've obviously never heard of like lol code before either. I think that's what it was called. Lol code actually got picked up by Microsoft. Here you go. It's actually, there's a legitimate lolcode.net implementation for the .NET framework. And you can write lolcode for .NET, and it actually works in Visual Studio and everything, and it compiles for Windows. But essentially, it's all about, like, you know, the cat meme. So it's like, it starts off with hi, can has stdio, which is, you know, standard output. Please open file lolcats.txt, and then it's like, if it was successful, you use awesome thanks, like AWSUM, and then you know, visible file. Then oh no's for like on error. Oh man, lolcat, yeah. Here you go. Microsoft Dynamic Language Runtime has an implementation of lolcode for testing purposes. So I don't know if you know, but the guys at Microsoft had a fun time implementing that, probably. That was the week that they were all high. There you go. So there's lolcat. There is a .NET compiler for lolcode written by Nick Johnson and features it in Microsoft's developer training seminars in Australia. There you go. So I wasn't lying. It does have a .NET implementation. I can't believe it. Yeah, anyway. Lolcode. Brainfuck. What was the other one? I can't remember the name of it now. Jeez Louise. It's like Erlang, I think. I haven't used Erlang before. I don't actually know that much about Erlang, but I think it's similar to Erlang. I'm trying to find Erlang alternative. Alternatives to Erlang. Here we go. Go. Might have been Go. Go programming language. We have kangaroos. What's it like in Australia? We have kangaroos, literally. Thousands of them on the side of the road all day. I'm not joking. I'm actually being genuine here. Every morning on the way to work, we see hundreds of kangaroos on the side of the road. Protected by a fence, but it doesn't stop getting them, like them jumping the fence and then getting hit by cars. Which they do. All the time. What's your favorite game? Fantasy Life or Pokemon? Are we the Matrix? What state? The left state. The one on the very left. We are in the Matrix. Edmund. Welcome back, Jason. Oh, man. Jason said hello to Jason. Suicide kangaroo. Yeah, dude, they jump out in front of cars all the time. They do it. I'm serious. And you see them on the side of the road every morning. Like, almost every morning. Jason's talking to himself. He is. Thanks, Dank, or Simple League. Thank you for sharing my details in explicit detail. I appreciate that. Lewis is sending me a language called Chef, or Chief. I think it's Chef. I have not heard of this language before. It's a stack-based programming language where programs look like cooking recipes. Oh my god! I love that! That is great! Oh, because it's a stack! Right. Oh, this is great. Dude, that is like the best programming language ever. I need to write a compiler for this now. We're gonna write a Chef to assembly compiler. I haven't done a compiler in years. That'll be really fun. It's Hell's Kitchen, yeah. Put chocolate chips into the mixing bowl. Put butter into the mixing bowl. Put sugar into the mixing bowl. Then wait until baked. Serve with chocolate sauce. Oh my god. I'm assuming chocolate sauce is another function. Yeah, it is. Method, clean the mixing bowl. So that obviously empties the stack. Put sugar into the mixing bowl. I can't believe this exists. Someone has way too much time. Refrigerate for 1 hour. I wonder what that does. Where's the official... There's an official website for this. Oh, here we go. The cooking time statement is optional. The time is a number. Man, this guy, whoever made this, is taking this very seriously. Recipe title describes the program. Ingredient list is the list of ingredients to be used by the program. Oh my god. The optional measure types. They can be heaped or level. Oh man, this is crazy. Oven temperature, right. So some recipes require baking, so you can just preheat them. Oh my god, I love this. I'm bookmarking this. This is going into my, like, where is it? Programming chef language. I'm bookmarking that. There we go. Bookmarked. What time is it? It's 9:47 p.m. And as I said, like 30 minutes ago, I'm actually going now. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's stream. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not already. I think you already are. And yeah, I'm going to head off now, so I'll catch you in the next stream. Bye for now.